Right, everywhere you look in June in particular, we've seen this Pride Month. In fact, one of the things I've done, and I meant to say this earlier, you get all these email notifications, stuff you've signed up for, you've given your email address, and they're pushing this Pride stuff. You know what I do? I click back on it and I go to unsubscribe. And I would encourage you to unsubscribe to all of those emails you get pushing this Pride garbage into your inbox, because they actually track that. They'll look at to see what causes people to unsubscribe to their email list, and they need to see this. That this woke stuff that corporate America is pushing because of these loud leftists. They need to realize it's going to cost them. And here to talk more about this is Dan Grant. He's the CEO of Second Vote. Dan, welcome back to Washington Watch.
Hi, thanks, Tony. Good to be here.
Dan, I know we've done a lot in the past with Second Vote in terms of, you can see where corporations give money to, so and these are bit like Walmart, Target, all these different places. You see their policies, and so the reason the name Second Vote is you get a second vote because you can vote with your dollars by where you do business. But you're taking that to a new level with this new initiative. Tell our listeners about it.
That's right. The economy that underpins our society is under attack. As you mentioned, a lot of people think companies should be run for a broader social justice agenda now, not just to generate profits, not just to support traditional charity. And that may sound good, but a broader social justice agenda, usually that means supporting things like good for the environment, good for society at large. But what that really is, it's Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, the Davos crowd pushing their definition of good on everybody here in the country, your listeners. And I can promise you, your listeners' definition of good does not match that of Klaus Schwab. So what we've done is we've taken the research of Second Vote, and Second Vote looks at a company's advocacy, its philanthropy, its charity. It looks at how companies use your money after you spend it, what issues they support. And we rate companies on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 or 2 is conservative, 3 neutral, and 4 or 5, 1 or 2 is liberal, and 4 or 5 is conservative. And we've created securities, and we are going up against the existing banks, the existing asset managers out there, which are now very vocal. If BlackRock is the largest investment firm in the world, they control over $9 trillion. And they have all created stewardship teams. And these stewardship teams go to companies. And last quarter, BlackRock went to 500 companies and told those boards and management teams, start implementing these leftist policies, hitting these ESG metrics, or we will start voting you out. And these asset managers are absolutely doing that right now. So we created an asset management company. We have publicly traded ETFs. So one is Life, LYFE. The other is Aegis. And Life basically is for companies that do not seek to censor or restrict people that are pro-life. So companies that don't support Planned Parenthood would be available to be invested in our ETF. And then we have a staff of PhDs that have come up with a financial methodology that says, okay, these are good investments. And it's working. Our securities are performing very well, Tony. In the first quarter, they outperformed the market significantly. And that allows us to go to these companies as shareholders. And we go to these companies and say, hey, please stay neutral. Please do not slide to the left on these issues that conservatives find important. And if you do, we're going to have to divest from you. But we're also going and we're proposing shareholder resolutions, and we're really trying to go up against BlackRock, go up against JP Morgan. And, it's working.
So Dan, is this for individuals? Is it for organizations, corporations? How can people be a part of what you're doing, invest in these companies that, are either neutral or reflect their values?
Well, these are really tailored for individuals. So our ETFs are just like mutual funds. You can buy them like any stock. So if you have a broker, you can call your broker. If you have a self-directed account, or if you're on an open platform, if you're on E-Trade, you would just type in our ticker symbols. So LYFE. is one. EGIS is another security. So companies that don't seek to censor or restrict the Second Amendment. We have a security in registration right now that is meant to protect religious liberty. So companies that are restricting the freedom of speech of conservatives, of libertarians would not be available to be invested. So these are retail securities. You could spend as little as $100 to buy one of these securities and support what we're doing.
So Dan, in the long run, won't this show corporate America that if you just either stay neutral on these issues or you just do what you're called to do and you do business and stay out of the politics, that you'll do better in the long run?
We hope so. The problem is there is trillions of dollars stacked up on the other side of the house right now, and all the asset managers and banks are working hard against what we're trying to do.
Dan, Grant, we're out of time, but I want to revisit this. I want to talk more about this. We'll get you back on. We'll talk more about this. Now people can be good stewards of what God has entrusted to them to make a difference in our country and in our culture. Appreciate the work you guys do at Second Vote.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you for having me.